mic on. We will call the March 26, 2022 meeting of the Parker Planning Commission to order at 7 o'clock. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Absent are Eric, Kim, Roxy, and Nick. Must be someone else. Oh, is that all? Yeah, okay. And so are there any additions to or deletions from the agenda?
No, sir, there are not.
Okay. Then item number 5A is a public hearing on the Parker Auto Plaza Filing 2, Amendment 3, LIBB2, Auto Body Shop Use by Special Review. We will call the public hearing to order at 7:02. Julia, we're all yours.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you for having me this evening. Before you is the Parker Auto Plaza Auto Mart USA Use by Special Review. The applicant, Auto Mart USA, is requesting a use by special review to change an existing building to allow for an auto body shop with a paint booth. The site is located on the west side of Ponderosa Drive, north of Lincoln Avenue. The Parker Auto Plaza PD was established in 2002 as a receiving zone for auto sales and repair in the town, meeting the automotive and retail needs of the community. On December 13, 2021, Town Council adopted revisions to the plan development to expand the permitted uses within the commercial use areas. Service establishments was expanded to include automotive repair major, an establishment primarily engaged in providing vehicle repair, bodywork, mechanical repair of engines and drivetrains, and/or painting as a use by special review. Automotive repair major as a use by special review permits additional automotive services to meet community demand, but requires an enhanced level of review evaluation under the 9 special review criteria. The subject property is located within the Central Commercial Corridor area as designated by the Parker 2035 Master Plan. This area is intended to provide commercial uses which focus on retail services, lodging, restaurants, and entertainment. The requested use of a paint booth is consistent with the allowed uses by special review within the Parker Auto Plaza PD and consolidates this kind of use to help encourage centralization and limit the dispersion of such uses townwide. The use by special review for a paint booth is consistent with existing and permitted uses within the district and reinforces the Parker Auto Plaza as providing an array of auto-related services. The site plan approval is administrative and it's not before you tonight, but I did want to speak to a few items as there are minor exterior changes. The only physical changes to the property are roof screening panels for the paint booth exhaust and a new screening wall around the existing parking lot. All materials will match the existing buildings. As far as environmental impacts, all construction and operations will be in compliance with EPA and OSHA regulations. There will be no on-site storage in excess of code requirements, which is limited to 25%, and they must meet the design standards for screening. Also, the noise ordinance will be applicable to the site. The facility will be used principally to recondition cars for sale by local car dealers. No long-term storage of vehicles is intended. The shop, when completed, will have 6 workstations for disassembly, repair, and reassembly. The painting portion of the facility will consist of a double paint booth and a mixing room. The paint booths will be located on the north end of the building. It is intended that vehicles will enter through the south roll-up doors and progress through the various workstations. The last stop will be the paint booths. They will exit through the north doors when paintwork is complete. All painting will be contained within the paint booths. No painting will be performed in other areas of the building or property. The paint booth is a new state-of-the-art unit compliant with applicable regulations. It will be properly vented to provide a safe environment for employees and to prevent escape of byproducts. Except for the screening wall, all new construction will be inside or on top of the existing building. The screening of the roof vents is detailed on the site plan submitted with the site plan amendment application. There are 9 criteria used to evaluate a use by special review. These criteria ensure that the use will be in harmony and compatible with the character of the surrounding areas. The proposal is consistent with the master plan, and there are adequate services to serve the proposed site. After evaluating the zoning information, staff has determined that the proposal meets the 9 approval criteria set forth in the land development ordinance. The project is consistent with the master plan, and the use will be consistent with the surrounding area, and it will not result in an overuse of the land, create traffic congestion, or be detrimental to the town. Staff has reviewed the proposal and determined that the project satisfies the 9 criteria for a use by special review, and all referral agency comments have been addressed. Staff recommends the Planning Commission recommend that the Town Council approve the Parker Auto Plaza F2 Amendment 3 Lot 1B B2 Auto Body Shop Use by Special Review request to allow a paint booth in an existing auto body shop, subject to the 10 conditions contained in staff's report. This concludes my report. I'm available to answer any questions you may have, and the applicant is here as well to answer any questions.
Okay, let's start with questions for Julia.
I don't have any. Nope.
The only question I have is how are the environmental impacts and compliance with the environmental impacts measured, contained, judged?
Those are generally monitored by state and federal regulators, but the applicant did provide additional information subsequent to the release of the packet relating to their air filtration system, as well as there were 2 different technologies he submitted, and he may be able to speak to those specific mitigation measures, and primarily to the air filtration systems and to prevent spillage on site and how that would be contained.
Right, because my concern is it's right next to a natural area, and so I want to make sure that it wouldn't have any effect on the animals, the birds, and the foliage.
We do have code enforcement, but I think the majority of that is monitored at the state level.
Okay.
Other questions for Julia?
No.
None for me.
Any questions for the applicant?
Would you like to speak to the environmental?
Yeah, would you step forward and state your name and address for the record, please?
My name's Dan Ramirez. I live at 7808 Stonedale Drive in Castle Pines. I work for Mart Usa, representing the applicant. We've designed the facility as a state-of-the-art facility for bodywork and paint. The paint booth cost approximately $250,000 and is state-of-the-art. The venting system is lined with filters that cause the paint to coalesce, so none of the paint itself escapes. It's all contained within the filters, which are changed based on a schedule set forth by the manufacturer. As far as spillage goes, it's all self-contained within the paint booth and the mixing room. There's a reservoir for the paint to be absorbed in, and none of it escapes into the drainage system. So we don't believe there would be any environmental impact on the surrounding area. It is heavily regulated by OSHA, the EPA, state agencies, and I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of visits from those folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Maris.
I do have one question. Where is the paint stored?
It actually comes in very tiny quantities. To paint a car only takes about this much paint once it's atomized. So it's all computerized, and we don't have big 5-gallon buckets of paint laying around. It's all by order, and there's a myriad of colors, as you can imagine, and they're all computerized mix. So you don't have to have 5 gallons of each color sitting around. It all just is mixed within technology I don't understand.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have a question. I was reading in the packet, it sounds like the cars coming in are going to be from dealers, or can the public bring a car in for minor repairs or paint?
It's a relatively small facility for a body shop. It's about 9,200 square feet floor area plus some mezzanine for storage. And that won't accommodate a large facility like Caliber and some of the big ones you see around town. Mart USA has 2 locations currently, the one at the corner of Lincoln and 20 Mile, and then one on Havana and Aurora. We sell approximately 150 cars a month, and in a normal market we would be selling closer to 300 cars a month. And we anticipate that 80 to 90% of the capacity is going to be dedicated to reconditioning our own cars. And quite frankly, dealing with the public and dealing with insurance companies is tedious and profitable if that's your main business, but if it's not, it's really not an area you want to get into. So the rest of the capacity will probably be taken up by other car dealers who are looking for faster turnaround and wholesale pricing, if you will. So I don't ever see it becoming a large retail traffic kind of area, because it's not big enough to profitably do what we want to do, the main purpose, and add on public and insurance work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again.
Yep.
That's all we've got. All right. Any further questions for Julia?
None from me.
None from me.
Okay. As this is a public hearing, we will open the meeting to public comment. If you have a comment on this particular item, use the raise your hand feature on the Zoom program. Do we have any hands raised, Bryce?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, we will close the public comment section. Do we need any further information?
No, I have no further
No.
questions.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, then we will close the public hearing at 7:12. Planning Commission discussion.
I'm good in full support.
Yeah, my only concern was the environmental, and that appears to be well taken care of, so I'm in support of this.
Yep, I am too. I see that it meets the commercial character of the area and is consistent with the town's planning or master plan. So I will be in support of it too.
I certainly concur with my fellow commissioners that this is a good use of that space and that building, and a good business to help out the car dealerships here in town. So do we have a motion?
I will move the Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the Parker Auto Plaza F2 AMD 3L1BB2 auto body shop used by special review request to allow a paint booth in an existing auto body shop subject to the 10 conditions contained in staff's report.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Ileana, seconded by Rich, that Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the Parker Auto Plaza filing to AMD 3 LIBB2 auto body shop used by special review request to allow a paint booth in existing auto body shop subject to the 10 conditions contained in staff's report. I will call the question. Ileana.
Aye.
Ruth Ann.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Chair is aye. Passes unanimously. All right. Bryce. Yeah, you bet. Bryce, any items for us?
There are not, thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved by Ruth Ann, seconded by Rich, that we adjourn. Well, I'll call the question. Ruth Ann.
Aye.
I'm mixing you guys up. Ileana. Rich.
Aye.
Chair is aye. We will adjourn. Still not my record.